You have all seen the numbers. He lights up social media every night, lights up the Dobbs Ferry basketball team scoring-wise. He's making a run for the all-time scoring record, but there's so much more to our guest here today, Anthony Ficarrotta from Dobbs Ferry, than just points that are put on the board. We're joined by Anthony and his coach, Scott Patrillo from Dobbs Ferry. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, obviously coming in on a school day, getting out of class. You get a little excited about that, or are you one of those kids that you'd rather be there? You're missing stuff.
No, I'm definitely happy to be here.
Yeah, great. Well, we appreciate you coming in. And Coach Patrillo. Coach, obviously your day job at the school is dean.
Yep.
Dean of Students, is that what the official title is?
That's what, Dean of Student Affairs.
And so you're the cell phone confiscator, is that right?
I am the cell phone confiscator, yeah. So this is going to
So
avoid...
who knows what's going on at school right now?
It could be a lot of things, but we've got a good principal, a good assistant principal. I'm sure they're keeping the fort locked down pretty well.
Good. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. And Anthony, obviously, it's been a remarkable senior year. It's been a remarkable career for you. I've been fortunate to feel like I've been followed from the beginning. Coach Patrillo and I have been friends for a long time. I always follows his teams. And I remember the freshman numbers put up. He was scoring in the 20s. I was like, wow, they have another prolific scorer here at Dobbs. This is amazing. Never knew what you'd grow to into this, and now you're making a run at the all-time Section 1 scoring record, which is amazing. But let's rewind early days of basketball. Have you been a multi-sport athlete your whole life? What were you like growing up?
Oh yeah, I played baseball, basketball, lacrosse, soccer. I was just kind of going out there and having fun. I would say until like 8th grade, I played 8th grade JV with Coach Sip. That's when I really started to realize that basketball was really what I wanted to try to play in college. Before that, I kind of thought I was going to play baseball in college, but I just caught a love for the game in 8th grade, and then I haven't stopped since. So.
Dobbs is a football town. Never any football?
They tried a few times, but I was...
Come on, wide receiver. How big is 6'2", 6'3"?
6'3", yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just never really thought much about playing football. I don't know.
Okay, so and tell me your first memory of basketball when you probably playing rec or something. What could you remember back to playing?
I remember CYO.
Okay.
CYO was a big thing when I was younger, and all
What's
of our...
What's the team? The red team?
Sacred Heart.
Okay, Sacred
Heart.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All of our... it was all me and my friends playing CYO. We practiced at Springhurst, and we kind of just had so much fun. Jack's dad was our coach, one of my friends. So it's he didn't even play basketball; he was just there for the fun. So we were all just out there having fun, and we were pretty good. We would always have good records and stuff. So it was always fun to try to go win games and compete.
When did you say to yourself I might be good at this?
I feel like I was always pretty good, but then I feel like I took a big leap once I started playing high school basketball and. 8th grade and freshman year, kind of those 2 years were huge for me because I started having coaches who were really helping me out and getting me to do that extra work and stuff. And then from there, I kind of figured out that was kind of what I wanted to go for.
So I call Dobbs Ferry a football town. Obviously, the basketball program's been very good in your time, Coach.
Still a football town.
Still a football town. Yes,
Yeah.
a town. Yes, obviously Friday night Gould Park. Tell me about your first kind of. So obviously you've had great players. You probably thought to yourself Eric Pascal, I'll never have a guy this good again, right? And no, I'm not making comparisons, but at the high school level, the numbers speak for themselves, right? So tell me about, when you first saw Anthony play and what were your thoughts?
So the first time that I was introduced to Anthony he was still in middle school. Coach Bartell was still working, in the district at the time, and he came to me and says, "You gotta meet this kid Anthony, and I'm gonna force Anthony to introduce him to you because he's a player." So I think Anthony's being a little modest here. That his early games. We already were getting word that Anthony was scoring a lot of points in AAU basketball while he was still in middle school. I think I remember that 50 points was put up at one point during a middle school AAU game. So Coach Bertel's you got to start to look at this kid. We got to introduce the two of you. So he did. He came up. He introduced himself in the foyer outside of our high school gym one day, just in passing. We talked to him and said, "Okay, great. We're going to be keeping an eye on you. You're working your way up through here," and then made the decision that we needed him to try to test up when he was an 8th grader for the JV team with the idea of let's give him a year of JV at the 8th grade and then let's see where that goes, going into his 9th grade year. Once he hit 9th grade, we knew that he was a varsity basketball player, started playing for us in 9th grade, and about 6 games into the season, took a starting spot and hasn't looked back yet.
Yeah. Was one of your first questions, are you going to Dobbs Ferry High School? Was that something that came to your mind?
No, we really don't try to do that because the idea, like, we want to develop players, we want to develop anybody within the community, and we've always had the mindset of you got to do what's best for you and your family. And if you take a stab at going somewhere else, we've just always asked, don't make sure we're not the last one that knows.
Yeah.
Just give us a heads up. But we've had other kids that we've brought up, JV players that have moved on, gone to other places. Some have come back, some continue to stay where they're at, and that's fine. I've always said Anthony's loyal, and I think sometimes loyal to a fault. He could have gone on to prep schools. He could have been playing in the knapsack. He could have been playing in a lot of these places, and it might have helped his recruiting profile a little bit. But he always said, I want to do this in Dobbs Ferry. I want to do it with my friends, the kids that I grow up with. This is where I want to be, and, we're thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to that, I mean, Eric Pascal left his senior year. People don't remember. He won Mr. Basketball his junior season. And I remember saying to you, like, oh, I'm so sorry. And you were like, no, it's the best thing for him. Like, you kind of understood that he probably reached his height in terms of his ability, but he needed to maybe go on to something bigger. Do you remember?
Yeah, if you think about that the last game Eric played in Section 1, against Lords in the finals, he was the MVP on the losing team.
Never happens. Never. Yeah. Literally, I don't think it's allowed. I was shocked.
And you knew that was where he had played one of the most unbelievable games. That was the epitome of the competition that he was going to get in Section 1. And it was time. He needed to move on. He needed the better competition that St. Thomas More was going to provide for him. And the challenge. And I think then the next challenge, was Fordham and then Villanova. And then it just, all went from there.
The amazing thing about him, when he went to St. Thomas More, he played for a national championship his senior year against Donovan Mitchell, Brewster County. They went head-to-head. And obviously, both go on to the NBA. They both were good friends growing up, so it's amazing. So, Anthony, let's go back to your eighth grade time. You're playing for Northeast Elite in that AAU time. Yeah. So you're putting up huge numbers, kind of putting their program a little bit on the map in a lot of ways at that point. Did you get someone said to you, hey, check out Iona Prep or Stepping or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely had some private schools who were like. People were telling
Masters
me to look
is right
at.
there. Yeah.
So that definitely happened. But I kind of knew from a young age that I wanted to stay at Dobbs. I knew that I had such good friends and such like good people surrounding me that I didn't think there was any point in leaving because I had such a good supporting cast around me.
Is there any part of you that looks back and says, should I have thought about this more? Was there any point during your high school career where you thought like, hey, like maybe I should look at this?
Not really, honestly. I mean, now that I'm going to college and stuff, now I'm like, all right, like I think I made the right decision. Maybe at some points where recruitment was a little slow and stuff, I was like thinking like, oh well, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think that I just made the right decision and I stuck by it and it ended up working out for me.
Coach talked about your freshman year and about you 6 games in, you won a starting job. Yeah. Do you remember the game, the moments where first of all, give me your best early moment that you can remember.
I remember my freshman year. It was the Obama game at home. We had lost to them. In overtime when we were at their place, and we were playing them for the second time. And I remember my friend Luca Rowan. I actually broke his nose in practice. And he was getting big minutes. So he broke his nose. He couldn't play. So
you broke his nose?
I broke his nose in practice by accident. Of course.
Of course.
And then so we were down. One of our senior guys had the flu, so it was like we were really really short on people. And I think I was the first one off the bench that game. And I remember I came in. I think I got a quick basket. I hit a 3 at the buzzer to end the first quarter, and then from there I kind of just started getting more comfortable. And then kind of from there, once I started feeling comfortable, I started, like figuring it out as a younger player.
Do you remember your first like bad moment on the court? Like you get dunked on or anything like that?
I remember it was our second game against Yonkers High School my freshman year, and he shot a 3 and I fouled him on a 3. And like a big thing for us is like don't foul someone on a 3. Yeah. I like plowed him over shooting a 3. So that was deftly a low for me.
All right, good. We've never been dunked on or anything like that.
Not in high school. Not in high school games. No.
Okay, good. You talk about your recruiting process, and obviously as you go into your sophomore year. You start putting up huge numbers. Obviously, you're gonna. We recognize you're gonna get to 1,000 points during your junior season, which is not very easily done. Recruiting wise, tell me about the recruiting process and before you even got a letter or a call or anything, what was in your mind about what you wanted to do? Was it like I want to go to Duke? Or what did you think?
I definitely wasn't like I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be going to Duke.
Yeah.
I was looking at like the low Division I level, like those like Patriot League schools. And I was definitely like targeting those schools a lot. I feel like if you think you're good enough, you should just go for it. Like the worst case, they don't answer your email or they don't they don't think you're good enough or whatever. So I was definitely going for that. And then during an AU season, I was playing in front of a bunch of coaches and stuff. And then I would say my Stack was one of the earlier schools that started recruiting me. Actually, it was like the beginning of my junior year, before I even played a game of my junior year. They contacted me. They were like, I think I emailed them first, and then they contacted me like, oh, we'd love you to come watch a practice. So I went to their practice, and I remember I met the coaching staff and stuff, and I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, all right, like, it's good to get in front of a bunch of coaches, talk, like get used to it. And then now I'm going there. So
well, here's the thing. So I tell people all the time, they're like, not about you, but just like about Stack, Dominican, Pace, and they kind of like, well, that's not Division I.
Yeah.
And I say, go to a game. Did you go to the practice and say to yourself like, wow, there's some real players here?
Yeah.
Did you know that going in, how good they were going to be?
I went after I knew I was going to go there. I kind of looked at some like YouTube videos, and I looked at some stuff with my dad, and we're like, yeah, they're pretty good. They're always good, and they've been good for so many years, and they've made the tournament for like 15 straight years, something like that. So they definitely have like a history of being very successful.
Who recruited you out of?
Coach Matt Bax. I think he was a former coach at one of the Clarkstown.
Clarkstown South.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the first one that I talked to.
He's a guy. If you impress him with basketball ability, you have done something in life, right? Or basketball knowledge. So like, crazy world. He coaches my 3rd grade son in Armonk. And every once in a while, I'll make a comment about something about a player or a team, and he's like, "No, it's not true." And it really makes you feel like this big. But it's true, because I'm like, well, I'm not going to. Because I think looking at his career at Clarkstown South, I thought to myself, I'm like, there might not be a better X's and O's coach, or someone who understands, like watching a video of a game, understanding like just the little slight movements and cuts and spacing and things like that, better than him. Yeah. And Clarkstown South almost beat Mount Vernon twice in the county center once and at Pace once in a championship. So you're in good hands. So again, if you impress Coach Bax, you've done something. That's pretty impressive. Coach, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So amazing. So you make your decision. And, one of the things that people, do you ever hear the name Dan Picarrotta? He played football at Pleasantville, and he was
I've heard of
lacrosse star. He's at University of Richmond. So Dan Picarrotta had something that I felt like, I wasn't sure if I'd ever really seen it like this, but he was iconic in his town of Pleasantville. Like people, like little kids wanted to be Dan Picarrotta. I mean, even some of the other high school kids wanted to be like Dan Picarrotta. You sort of have that in Dobbs Ferry, right? So I've talked to some people, and they say, man, he's just like in town, like everybody loves Anthony. So, Coach, would you agree? I mean, what is the perception of Anthony around school?
Absolutely. But why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the nicest kid in, like, you don't find kids that are as nice, as open, as caring, that want to be around, that, like, just for an example, like, our varsity girls coach has a little daughter. She's, like, probably, like, 1.5, pushing 2 years old, and she's at practice a lot, like, where we cross paths. And Anthony's the first one to kind of run over and play around with her, and to just kind of like have fun with her and everything. And that's how he is with all the kids in Dobbs Ferry. Like he's gonna be the first kid who's gonna make sure he's high-fiving a kid from Springhurst that comes to a game of ours, or go talk to some people, or he makes everybody feel comfortable, warm, and welcome. And that's just a testament to the type of person he is, to the type of person that his family's raised him to be, to the type of person that we want our kids in our school to be. He's a great ambassador of everything we try to push on our kids and make them believe in. So yeah. I'm not surprised by any of that at all.
I'm very friendly with the Moon family, right? So from Dobbs Ferry, Ella Moon played Dobbs Ferry basketball, and I talked to her mother last year at the county center when they made the county center and they made the championship, and I said about a lot of students here, a lot of boys. She goes, "That's all Anthony. Anthony was the one who rallied all the kids from school to go to the county center to support the girls team." So how was that important? Obviously, you're very close friends with Ella, but was it just something that you felt like this is what we should do? This is what we should support each other?
Yeah, I mean, all the girls come to all our games, so I feel like it's only right that we have people going to their games too.
Amazing. And Coach, I got an interesting text message recently from a friend of mine who works in Tuckahoe, and you guys played them at the 4:30 game, right? You played them in the early game at Tuckahoe.
We played them, yeah.
Yeah, you played the early game there.
Yep.
And game's over. Most varsity players go home and they go do what varsity players do. And he said there's only one Dobbs Ferry player who's here watching the game, intently supporting, cheering for the team, and it's Anthony.
Yeah, we all sat together in the stands after the game. He loves to stick around. He sticks around. He'll do the book if need be for the JV game. He'll sit on the bench with Coach Sip if nobody's there. he just wants to continue to give back. Loves the game of basketball. He's a junkie. He's a gym rat. I mean, we've said it a zillion times. This kid lives, breathes, sleeps basketball. He's searching Westchester County for games, pickup games. You know, we talk about he drives over to Tuckahoe, throws kids in his car from Dobbs to go get pickup games going over on the courts in Tuckahoe. We were talking about games at Central Ave. I mean, he's going to search for games. I was telling a story that, you know, one night when we played a summer league game, and he didn't think we got a good enough run. Team that we played was down. They were missing kids. We got out there. We had our full squad. Played really well that night. Kind of lopsided game. He's like, we didn't get a good run in tonight. He grabs everybody, throws them in the car, and went and found a game somewhere else to get a second run in that night because felt that they needed a bigger challenge. That's just the kind of guy he is.
Yeah. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's based in Northeast, and she practices at Masters, or she used to practice Masters. And there's obviously she practices in the gym where they close the doors. You can't see inside, so parents sit in the hallway. And then there's the other gym, which you can see the windows. And one night I was watching you. I mean, just like absolutely embarrassed kids in the gym. So like you're always out there looking to play. And I remember watching you go through it and listen. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this is a pickup game on like a Tuesday night in probably March or April. Season's over, and you were so serious about it and just passing the ball and directing and telling guys. Is there ever a time where you pick up a basketball and step on a court and it's not like a real thing for you?
No, I feel like if I'm going to go out there, I'm going to give it my all and play as hard as I can no matter what. I feel like you're doing the game wrong if you're going out there and not giving it your all. So, yeah.
Sometimes it's serious to a fault. Like it hurts us. Like in practice sometimes. Yes. So you're
breaking kids' noses.
But you're working on something in practice, and you know that he can get a bucket anytime he wants. Like we're working 5-on-5. We're trying to put in this new offensive set, and his team might be down all of a sudden, and we say to him, like, we know you can get that look. We know you can get that. We know you've got that shot.
Yeah.
Find the other guy. Do this. Find that. Like, we got to get everybody else involved in something here. And he's like, yeah, but we're down 4. Like, it's just like, no, we can't lose this.
I mean, the competitiveness is something that is so apparent every time you watch. So obviously you follow basketball at Westchester and Section 1. You know the teams. You know pretty much all the players. You've seen them either in AAU or cross paths. Yeah. Let's go back to last March. And we go to your junior year. You finish up. You averaged, 34 points a game last year? 33 points a game last year. It was a pretty good number. You lead your team to the county center. You lose to Woodlands, which goes on to play for a state championship and had a chance to win state championship. I get up at the Section 1 coaches meeting, dinner, to award Mr. Basketball and the honorees. You didn't hear your name.
Yeah.
Bother you? What were your thoughts? And you obviously going into it, you probably got a hint that it wasn't going to happen. What was your reaction?
I mean, I obviously wasn't like very happy that I didn't get it, but at the end of the day, honestly, it just fueled the fire a little bit. Gave me something to work towards. So yeah, I mean, that's really it.
Because you obviously the summer before you didn't make the BCNY, and I know that bothered you a lot too, right?
Yeah.
So is that fuel for you? Because you are, as we just said, so competitive. Is it something that has that turned 100 push-ups to 500 push-ups? What has that done for you?
It's definitely like anytime that you wake up sometimes and you just don't want to. You're tired. You don't want to go out. And, you'll think of things like that and things that you didn't get, and then it kind of just fuels you to go out there and go give it your all again. And so yeah, I feel like those things definitely motivated me. But at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about those individual awards. I just want to win games. I want to go try to win a sectionship this year. So I don't really care too much about that anymore, especially.
Do other people in your life care about that stuff?
As a coaching staff, we do.
I know, but the answer was going to be coach.
Yeah, I feel like
nobody is more like your champion, obviously, than your parents. And your mom's birthday, by the way. Let's not forget.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yes, Mom, yes. Then your coach, right? So nobody is like than Coach Patrillo. So tell me, Coach, what did you feel? Because he handles it unbelievably well. So what was your reaction?
It's tough. You got to put on the right face. You got to set the right example for your players. You got to model
because you're trying to do stuff for next year too. Yeah, of course.
And you can't burn any bridges because you know that there's still another year left. Going through the same thing. You felt like he didn't get some things he deserved multiple times so far. But in the same sense, you also have to show him that, like, look, we say it all the time on the court. You got to control what you can control. The controllables, you have certain things that you can control. There's certain things you can't. We can't let ourselves dwell on the things that we can't control. We've got to find a way to put them in the right place and move forward from that. We have to do that as a coaching staff. to show him that that's the right way to go about doing things. But in the same sense, we had a conversation with him that says, hey, put it in a place, though, and let it feed you. Let it feed you, eat off of it, and continue to just grow and get better. I think one of the things like you've seen is massive improvement with him is his just overall physical strength. I mean, he's a weight room machine now. He hits the weight room. He gets there before school. He'll get there. He finds time to get his lifts in. He's stronger, and that was one of the things that he probably looked at as maybe that was a reason why they didn't take me. They didn't think I was big enough. They didn't think I was strong enough. So I'm gonna go do that now. And every time that somebody tries to put some sort of an obstacle in his way, he's gonna find a way to like overcome that. And not only is he going to overcome it, but he's gonna blow through it. Yeah. And I think that this is gonna be something that as he continues to move on in his basketball career, that it's there. Yeah. And a lot of kids don't have that. He does. That's why he's going to continue to have success at whatever level that he wants to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw something, read something recently about like the greatest skill, the separator, is being conscientious and putting the work in and doing that stuff. And obviously, clearly, you're willing to do that. But it is funny because like you go in town, you're the hero, and you go out of town, and it's like he's fighting for respect. And people probably in town are probably like, well, how could you be both? And you seem to just say like, you don't get too caught up in one, you don't get too big of a head in one, and you don't get too down in the other. So that's remarkable maturity from you. You come with your senior season now, and you're taking no prisoners so far, right? I mean, that's basically what it is. I've watched you play a bunch of times. Obviously, saw you at the county center. We're up to 39 points per game, right?
Yeah, 39.1, I think, as of today.
39.1. You need 176 points to tie the record. We'll talk about the record in a minute. But it just, someone at the county center, listen, I sat back at the county center, and I was like, if Anthony does what I think he's going to do, these conversations are going to stop real fast. And you went out in the first half against Westlake, and, I mean, people's mouths were on the floor. At nothing. I mean, listen, it's like Eric Pascal would just shoot NBA range threes, and people were like in awe of that. But you just like manhandled guys. Was that something you were going into the game and saying, "Listen, this is an opportunity for me"? How did you approach the county center game?
I definitely approached it as like we lost here 2 times prior to this, and it's definitely like a game that I really want to show what I can do to people. But also at the end of the day, I was just taking what the defense gave me. I just wanted to go out there and win the game at the county center, and winning a game at the county center with all the kids that I've been growing up with my whole life, and just get that confidence that like, yeah, we can go out there and win a game at county center for hopefully when we go there back in the playoffs. So I would say just going out there and just taking what the defense gave me and being very aggressive, kind of just how I thought I would go out there that game.
Yeah, I take for granted that people like watch games all the time or see you play a lot often, and this might have been their opportunity to see you play. Go for 45 points in the win over Westlake. And it was funny, Coach. I don't know if you watched the game broadcast back or anything like that. The announcer was like, "This is the greatest performance of his life." I'm like, it's like 4 above his average. It's not that big of a deal. But like, so how do you still as a coach say to yourself like, man, I'm this is like a privilege. This is something that's special to get to watch this and be a part of this.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you have special players, you just count your blessings, especially at a small school like ours. You know, as you said earlier, like you thought that Eric was going to be that one player that you
Santo Provenzano years ago.
Yeah. And and Santo was before my time, but like you don't think you're going to have many of those players in small schools, and when you get multiple players like that, you feel blessed, and again, just overall blessed to have been doing this for as long as I have at the same school and to have the support that we've had. But, when I watch him go out there and play those games, he's so quiet about how he does it too. I turn around to the guys on the bench all the time, and I'll be like, "Where's he at?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, he's at 33." I'm like, seriously? Like it's
all layups.
It goes. Yeah. It's layups, but he can score in spurts.
Yeah.
He gets going and he gets a feel. Like, we always talk about shot selection every once in a while, and we give him a little leeway sometimes with the heat check. Because he's just come down and drilled like 2 threes that were, from like 26 feet, and all of a sudden it's like he takes the third one, and you're like, yeah, it probably wasn't the best shot, but we're gonna live with that one. That's okay.
Yeah. You ever get on him? During?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he gets no rope with us, really. Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly talking to him about his shot selection, about something he could have done better. He could have shot faked and blown by that guy there. Like, why are you settling for that? But the other thing that people don't see is that you got to look at the 14 rebounds per game right now. Yeah. the amount of scoring he gets off of offensive rebounds, because he crashes the boards when other people shoots. He finds the ball. He has a knack for the ball. The 4 steals a game, which leads to points.
Yep.
The assists that he's getting outside of it. Most of the time, you're going to say that a guy that's scoring 39 points, he's probably selfish. He's taking too many shots. And he's dishing out 4 assists tonight as well. That's not a selfish player. That's a well-rounded player. I mean, he's doing everything we need on the floor. He's willing to step in and take charges. He has no qualms doing that. He's the first guy that will say, if we're having a defensive struggle with somebody on the opposing team, coach, do you want me to take him? Do you want me? I'll take that guy. Let me take him. He's a full-on, unselfish, outstanding basketball player that will do anything that a team needs in order to get a W on the board at the end.
Yeah, and obviously, one of the things that people are going to hide behind who make decisions about who they want to vote for awards or for the newspapers awards, it's about like, oh, did you win a championship? Is like kind of like a big thing. So especially at the small school level, Class B, it's gonna be hard. Win championship. Woodlands is terrific. And we don't talk about Woodlands, but just your team. How do you say, okay, well, I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
And how much has your team kind of molded around you? And again, you haven't. I don't think I've ever talked to you. You've called them your teammates. You've always called them your friends. So like you guys are still close, despite the fact that you get a lot of the attention. So how have you managed to kind of maintain that?
I mean, we've been a lot of my teammates have been best friends for like growing up. We have a bunch of seniors in this team. I think there's 9 seniors, I want to say. So we've all been growing up together, and then they've taken a huge leap. We were all together in the off season. I mean, Mateus Hertzberg, our point guard, has been controlling the game amazing. He's taken a huge leap from last year because of all the offseason work he put in. And then Calvin Higgins grew like 3 inches, got a lot bigger, and he's been a huge second option scoring wise. So they're definitely taking a lot of defenses will try to do specific things to try to like hold me, and then when they're going, it's like, well, then if you're just gonna let them score, like that's fine with me. Like if we're winning games, that's all that matters. And it also, when they start doing what they can do, it's like then you can't do the specific defenses you want to do on me. So
of course,
I feel like they're definitely helping out, and they've taken huge leaps from last year, and that's huge.
No, absolutely. And it just seems like your team, as you said, they have gotten a lot better because like you don't beat good teams with one player. So it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to be a part of that. Now you're going to hear for the next like 5 games as you're 176 points away from a record of a Section 1 scoring record, which, listen, if you go around New York State, I've said this many times, like the scoring record in every section has been set in the last 10 years. A lot of it has to do with the 3-point shot. There was no 3-point shot when Todd Scott played 1983 from Peekskill. That's pretty remarkable for him. But it just seems like the game is at a point where it's just like you're going to shoot threes, you're going to take a million shots, you're going to play earlier. A lot of the guys who have scoring records, like Joe Girard, from upstate, from Glens Falls, played at a young age, took a million shots, wanted to stay. So like you're breaking a 43-year-old record. I kind of feel like the length of time is more impressive than the amount of points. Have you kind of thought about the record much, or how much do you go into that?
I try not to think about it too much because I remember when I got close to my 1,000
I was there
last year.
Yeah. You couldn't score.
I was a little nervous, and we ended up losing the game.
Yep.
For me, obviously, winning is the most important thing, so I was pretty pissed off after losing that game. So I'm trying to just not think about it and just keep this thing going. We've won 7 straight, so we're rolling right now. We want to just keep it up. So I don't want the record stopping us from playing the way we've been playing and winning games. So.
You kind of 176 points with 7 games left or 8 games left in the regular season. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're on a very good path here to break the record, health wise and everything. Yeah. Are you almost excited for it to maybe to get past it, move over? Or?
It would be nice to get over with and then just focus on the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, that would be a good timing. Coaches kept the spreadsheet. When did you start doing your spreadsheets and start planning this?
Spreadsheet started his sophomore year.
Yeah.
I felt like we need to start after sophomore year. We had the big scoring year. I'm like, okay, we want to go that. And then, so the spreadsheets was originally titled Ficarrotta March to 1,000. Because we haven't had a 1,000-point score in a long time. Santo was the last 1,000-point scorer on the boys' side for us. I've never had 1,000-point scorers in all the years that I was coaching there. So he wasn't going to be the first. So I want to make sure that I had everything ready to go when he hit that milestone. And then all of a sudden, after he hits that, I'm like, oh my gosh, we could be looking at another one. Still haven't changed the name of the spreadsheet though.
That's good. Yeah, don't change anything.
We're not.
Keep it the way it's going. Yeah,
exactly. So
Yeah.
we're not messing with anything. But yeah, I think we knew for a while that there was something very, very special here. And I think too, as you mentioned, like his teammates want it probably more than he does. It was the same thing, when we got to that 1,000 point. Like they were more worried about him getting to that than he was at the time. They wanted that for him, and that just shows they're just an unselfish group of people. They want to do what's best for the program and for the team, and they've learned how to play around a very talented scorer.
Yeah.
And they know that their games, their games are better because of what he can provide.
Yeah.
And so, I still feel that as good as he is, there's still a lot left. Everybody gets to eat.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And winning is fun, man. And when the team really enjoyed themselves at the county center. I watched your brother's in the team also.
Yep.
It's pretty special. You get to enjoy it with him. And your sister's the next great scorer coming to Dobbs.
We'll see. She's looking pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I watch her in AAU as well. But 42, 34, 31, 42, 30, 41, 51, 45, 36, 43, 41, 33 points per games. So really no bad games in there, right? I mean, you've managed to keep it. So when I look at the schedule and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, well, I gotta make my plans here. Like, I'm gonna probably want to be there, if and when it does happen. And it looks like, I'm looking like Byram Hills could be the game. But you're not thinking about it. You're just gonna go out and play basketball, get it over with. Because as you said, I remember I was at the Blind Brook game. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he looks nervous. First time I've ever seen him. Have you been nervous? I mean, like, the one thing I noticed at the county center, I was like, man, he just looks so poised, like so composed. Like do you envision yourself? Let's just say the perfect world is you break the record, you get to the playoffs, you get a route, you get to the championship game, you're playing Woodlands, right, for the championship. That's kind of what everybody thinks is going to happen. Are you prepared, like, mentally for that? Do you think that losing to them last couple of times has prepared you for that, and maybe trying to get that gold ball?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely mentally prepared. I mean, if we do go there and say that were to happen, that would be my fourth or fifth game playing at the county center. And I mean, the county center is a little harder to shoot with like depth perception and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a basketball court. It's hoops. It's the same thing. Like, if you could shoot in your high school gym, you should be able to shoot at the county center. If you put the ball in the basket in your high school gym, you should be able to put the ball in the basket at the county center. So I just kind of think of it that way, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's basketball. So
I have a question on my sheet about like record or gold ball. I know the answer. It's obviously gold ball.
Gold ball for sure.
Yeah, that's it. Coach, again, just one more time, just about just coaching him and with this team. As I said, it doesn't all work. Having a great player doesn't always work this way.
No, it doesn't. It's just the idea that everybody's on the same page. Everyone knows what the ultimate goal is. Everyone knows what we're trying to do. Everyone's bought into it. We've always said, as far as like one of the key aspects to our overall culture is that it's team above all. He believes that. He just happens to be somebody who puts up more points than some other guys do. And that's the way they look at it. They'll tell you, well, Ant gets ants, and then I got to do this, 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 and that's a formula. That's them talking. That's not me talking, which is unbelievable. And so I think we continue to keep doing. We work hard every day in practice. They're so much fun to work with. We have our days where we have lighthearted, but we also have our days where we are down and pushing each other and grinding and battling. And so I think the mix of all those things has worked out really well. Everybody knows that when it's time to lock in, it's time to lock in. I felt like that county center game against Westlake was a really good experience for us for this season. As we say, it's hard to score in the county center, but he made it look pretty easy that day. And that's why I don't think that the moments are bigger than him, or he's learned over the course of these years that when we've got to those times that he's better prepared now than he was in the previous years. And I got to say, last year, one of the tougher games he had was against Woodlands in the county center. But everybody's got to remember, he was guarding Jameis in the county center.
That meter went down
real
quick.
285 pounds up and down the floor that whole game. That's going to take something off of your offensive game. 100%. But he was the guy that said, I got to guard him. I got to be the guy. Who else is going to take James? I got to. So that's just, again, it's the kind of player he is. But this is a great team. Love working with him every day. We got great staff. We got a great group. And we're gonna do everything we can to try to meet the expectations.
Yep. Obviously, a lot of basketball still ahead of you. You're going to stay in Thomas Aquinas next year. Tell me about what do you want to study? What do you want to do in life?
I'm not 100% sure I want to study yet. I was thinking maybe like something like education, maybe like
You should be our kid,
gym
dude.
teacher or something like that.
Phys ed. Don't talk
Yeah.
to him.
But
we have friends who don't
somebody
like that.
that's
Yeah,
gonna
my
get
wife, my buddy Frankie, don't like that. Phys ed. But yeah, that's.
So that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I haven't
Could you ever see
really
yourself
decided.
coaching?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Excellent, man. Do you coach now? Anything?
No, but I might soon. I might do a little coaching. I work a lot of clinics and stuff. Obviously, the Northeast Elite clinics
And
so,
the camps and stuff?
Yeah,
Kids
so
love you, man.
I'm definitely like around a bunch of kids and teaching, but I'm not specifically coaching.
We're gonna play the tape back in about 10 years when you're you know taking over Dobbs Ferry's basketball coaching job. But thank you guys so much for coming in, Anthony. It's really been a pleasure to have you here, to watch you play, to watch you grow. Coach Patrillo and I have had many conversations about you, and and the thing is, we probably take some more things to heart of the outside world than you ever do. So it's a testament to you, your family. So it's been a lot of fun having you guys in. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon. We want to thank everyone for watching here at the Game Day One, brought to you by White Plains Hospital, and we'll see you soon.